Hi, this is Mark from the Wayback Group. The last episode we did was episode 47, and some really interesting discussion happened about the whole kind of arena of health, healing, and also spirituality, and how the two are different, where they overlap, and what the differences are as well. Some of the topics were very practical, so we discussed things like these kind of blue light glasses, and also using copper to raise the vibration of water so that it has more of a healing property. We also touched on topics like spike protein and nanoparticles and other toxins that may get into your body, and what you can do not only from a physical point of view but also from a more spiritual point of view to get rid of these things from your body. So if this is stuff that's interesting to you, then definitely check out this clip now, because what I'm about to do is just break out that part of the discussion. But I'd also highly recommend checking out the whole episode. And if you want more kind of spiritual discussion where I'm basically drawing on years of experience to answer your questions, then I invite you to look at the Wayback live show, which is every Thursday. And I think you'll find it really interesting. But let's dive in now. All of this talk about spike proteins and nanoparticles and healing and stuff, it doesn't affect whether you're spiritual. It's all to do with healing. All of us, you, me, we didn't know half the stuff we know now, but we were still spiritual, and we were drinking fluoride in our water. We were eating badly because we listened to the government about salt and butter and things, and now we're starting to wake up to the truth of those things, that they're actually not bad for you. And we didn't know, and I wasn't putting copper in my water bottle and things like that. And my water bottle used to be plastic full of PBA, now it's glass because I've learned. So in other words, we're constantly learning and we're constantly given opportunities. And what's the real opportunity here? The spiritual thing is, like these glasses, it's the choices you make based on the information you have. In other words, I had a choice to get these glasses, and I thought, it will be good for my body, I'll do it. But it didn't make me more spiritual. What was spiritual was wanting to do something that was good for my body. The same way wanting to put copper in my water. Putting copper in my water doesn't make me spiritual, but wanting to do something that would be good for me is a spiritual choice. And so I want us to start to just wake up a little bit. Reality check. You do not need these glasses to be spiritual. But if you have the choice and you want to do something that may be to your advantage, then you can make that spiritual choice. Okay? Same as I'm wearing cotton. That's a choice based on the knowledge and the information I have now. But we might learn something tomorrow that changes some of our choices. What we're starting to get here is that separate out what is spiritual from what is good for your health. And it doesn't mean that what's good for your health is bad. It's just that, what are we putting first? I want to draw our attention to this slide here, because when you get to the end of your life, these are the things that are hopefully, that you may have. So on the left, we've got health. So we've got a group of old people running. We've got wealth. So there's an old guy with lots of money. And we've got relationships. And there's an old couple holding each other. Okay? Who's the winner? Just put in the chat which of those, or who's the winner? Who's won at life? Okay? So just put health, wealth, or relationships. You can even put all three, but put them in the order that you think is most important. If you're listening again, or you're watching again, health, wealth, or relationships. You don't need to write anything down, but put it in the comments if you want what you think is who's won. Because what we're talking about, all of this stuff, is important. It is right that we put wrong what's being done to us. So if they've poisoned us with nanoparticles, then it's great to know that there are potential ways to deal with it. And I'm going to share something about a way to deal with it that's more powerful. Okay? So Millie's put relationships, health, and then wealth. Okay? That's a good answer. Okay? So relationships, health, and wealth. The truth is, who succeeded in life out of those three? The answer is none of them. If that's what they've put first, they failed. But that's life. People are either focused primarily on one of these three things. So we all know stories of people that put wealth first and they get to the end of their life and they're lonely and they don't have any relationships and their health's fallen apart. And it's like, well, what good's your money now? But do you think it's any better if you put your health first? You put your health first, you might get to the end of life really healthy. You may not have much money. You may or may not have relationships. If you put relationships first, the winner, the one that has got to the end of life and won, is the person that put Jesus and God first. Let's go right back to basics. The purpose of this life is for your soul to grow and your spirit to guide you. And if you've been guided by your spirit, then it means that you're more aligned with God. If your soul is growing, then it means you're becoming more good. And good, as we've discussed previously, means that you're starting to embody the qualities of God. It doesn't mean you become God, but all that is good came from God. So the more good you are, in other words, the more your soul has grown, then the more you have succeeded in life, because the purpose of life is to be closer to God at the end than you were at the beginning. We've got to look after our health, because who wants to live a long life if you're in suffering or discomfort or harmed? You want to have the best quality of life in terms of health. So I'm not disputing that. Same, relationships are a beautiful, wonderful thing if you're lucky enough. If you're in a bad relationship, it's one of the worst things, okay? But a relationship isn't the ultimate goal of life. It's one of the facets of life from which you can learn and explore and experience the things that will help you become a better person and move towards God. But you can pursue spirituality, your spiritual purpose, which is to be closer to God. And again, not religion, spirituality. In other words, spirit, your spirit guiding you to God. Okay, the light of God is within you. So in other words, if you're putting that first, you're winning at life. And then it's a bonus if you get good health, if you get good wealth, if you have relationships. And all of these things will be for the better, because you've built the foundation of your life on something real. Because the thing that's going to survive this life is not your physical body. It's not a relationship. You don't take them with you. It's not your wealth. You certainly don't take that with you. It's your soul and your spirit that will then go on to the next life, and they will stand on the shoulders of this life. So whatever you achieve in this life in terms of soul growth and spiritual maturing is the thing that has value, and therefore you're a winner in life. Because I want to wake us up. So the questions have been primarily about health, and it's totally right that we do take care of our health, because it's actually disrespectful to who you are and to what God has given to not care about your health. There is a correlation between like humility and well-being and things like this. So people that abuse their health and they're drinking too much or smoking too much or doing drugs, they're not showing any kind of spirituality at all. They're showing quite the opposite. Let me finish the story, because I promised you there'd be a little bit of a quiz. It helps us remember what we already know, that we can actually do something to help us get rid of these spike proteins, get rid of these nanotech things from a non-physical point of view. In other words, not what you ingest, but something else. Going back to that slide where I showed you all the old people, what's the point? What's the point of being the healthiest old person on your block if you've overlooked your spiritual journey? I'd rather crawl over the finish line in terrible shape, but have completely aced the spiritual journey than the other way around. Walk over there, great health, super fit, can run a marathon, but I've neglected my spiritual journey. I'm a loser. If that's the case, then I'm a total loser. If I walk over the finish line with £1 billion in the bank, but I've neglected my spiritual journey, I'm just a big loser. Okay. Most of the people on the planet are spiritual losers because they're putting health, wealth, and relationships first, and they're not putting what matters first. Okay. So on that note, I think that we've actually covered a lot. There's a lot more I kind of wanted to go into, but as ever, time has run out, and so I'll just say, wherever you are, God bless you, and just carry on making good choices. Okay.